The unfolding political and legal storm surrounding Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his inner circle has captured the attention of the nation and the wider international community. The controversy centers on allegations against Netanyahu's chief of staff, Sachi Braverman, who is under investigation for allegedly attempting to blackmail a senior IDF officer into altering wartime records. This explosive claim, combined with ongoing inquiries into leaks of classified information from Netanyahu's office, has thrust the Prime Minister and his administration into a deepening crisis. Braverman's alleged actions, if proven true, could mark a severe breach of protocol and ethics within the highest levels of Israeli governance. Reports suggest that the incident involves a sensitive, classified video from the Prime Minister's office, purportedly used as leverage to coerce an IDF officer into modifying official records. The implications are severe. Altering wartime records not only undermines the integrity of the military but also threatens to distort Israel's historical and strategic assessments, potentially jeopardizing national security. Braverman has categorically denied the allegations, calling them a fabrication intended to weaken the Prime Minister's office during a critical period of conflict and political challenges. This scandal comes at a time when Netanyahu is already battling multiple legal troubles, including a long-standing corruption trial where he faces charges of bribery, fraud, and breach of trust. These cases, unrelated to the current allegations, have already strained Netanyahu's credibility and divided Israeli society. The recent accusations against his chief of staff and potentially against Netanyahu himself only add fuel to the fire, with critics suggesting a pattern of systemic corruption and ethical lapses within his administration. Adding further complexity to the situation are allegations that Netanyahu may have been aware of, or even complicit in, the illegal leaks of classified information to the media. The leaks reportedly pertain to sensitive security matters, raising questions about the integrity of the Prime Minister's leadership during a time of heightened national and regional tensions. Netanyahu's office has vehemently denied these claims, dismissing them as politically motivated and part of an orchestrated campaign by his opponents to unseat him. The allegations have prompted outrage from opposition leaders and civil society organizations, many of whom have called for Netanyahu to step aside temporarily to allow for an impartial investigation. Former deputy head of the Shin Bet Security Service has been among the most vocal critics, accusing Netanyahu of jeopardizing national security and governance through his administration's alleged misconduct. In a rare public statement, the former Shin Bet official warned that these scandals erode public trust and weaken Israel's ability to address its mounting challenges effectively. The controversy has not been confined to domestic political circles. International observers and allies have been closely monitoring the situation, particularly as it unfolds against the backdrop of escalating military conflicts. Israel is currently engaged in intensive military operations in Gaza, the West Bank, and along the northern border with Lebanon, with Hezbollah presenting a growing threat. In this context, any perception of instability or corruption within the government risks undermining Israel's position on the global stage and complicating its diplomatic relationships. The political stakes are immense. Netanyahu, a dominant figure in Israeli politics for decades, has built a reputation as a shrewd operator who has weathered numerous challenges to his leadership. However, the combined weight of his corruption trial and the current allegations may prove difficult to overcome. Public sentiment is increasingly polarized, with his supporters viewing the investigations as politically motivated witch hunts, while his detractors see them as evidence of a leader who has overstayed his welcome. Public protests, which have been a recurring feature of Netanyahu's tenure, have intensified in recent weeks. Demonstrators have taken to the streets in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and other cities, demanding greater transparency and accountability from the government. The protests reflect broader dissatisfaction with Netanyahu's leadership, encompassing issues ranging from judicial reforms to his handling of the ongoing conflicts and economic challenges. The allegations against Braverman have also cast a spotlight on the inner workings of Netanyahu's administration, raising questions about the culture of governance at the highest levels. Critics argue that the scandal is symptomatic of deeper problems within the Prime Minister's office, where loyalty to Netanyahu is prioritized over ethical considerations and the rule of law. Calls for reform have grown louder, with opposition figures demanding systemic changes to prevent similar incidents in the future. The legal process surrounding these allegations is likely to be protracted, given the complexity and sensitivity of the issues involved. Investigators are reportedly focusing on multiple threads, including the alleged blackmail, the circumstances surrounding the classified video, and the potential involvement of other senior officials. The Israeli public and media are closely watching every development, with new revelations emerging almost daily. Meanwhile, Netanyahu's office has sought to project an image of business as usual, emphasizing the prime minister's focus on pressing national security issues. In a statement, a spokesperson for Netanyahu dismissed the allegations as baseless and politically motivated, asserting that the prime minister remains committed to his responsibilities. However, this message has done little to quell the growing sense of unease among the Israeli public and political establishment. The timing of the scandal is particularly precarious. Israel is facing significant challenges on multiple fronts, including intensifying conflicts with Hamas and Hezbollah, rising tensions with Iran, and growing international scrutiny over its military actions in Gaza. Domestically, the country is grappling with economic uncertainty and deep divisions over judicial reforms that have sparked widespread protests. In this context, the allegations against Netanyahu's administration risk further destabilizing an already volatile situation. For Netanyahu, the coming weeks and months will be critical. The outcome of the investigations and his ongoing corruption trial will likely determine his political future and legacy. If the allegations are substantiated, they could lead to criminal charges against Braverman and potentially others in Netanyahu's inner circle, further eroding public trust in his leadership. Conversely, if the allegations are dismissed, Netanyahu could use the opportunity to rally his base and strengthen his position, framing himself as a victim of a politically motivated campaign. The implications of the scandal extend beyond Netanyahu's personal fortunes. It has reignited debates about the need for greater oversight and accountability in Israeli politics, with many calling for reforms to ensure that such controversies do not recur. The case also underscores the challenges of balancing political loyalty with ethical governance, a dilemma that has long plagued Israeli politics.